Yeah, hi Robin.
Hi there.
Looking at the game at the weekend against the Stormers. It was a very physical encounter, and probably a good run in for what you're probably going to face next Saturday. After 21 minutes and 17-0 down, um, was it a surprise to you that Leinster were on the back foot early on?
Well, the Stormers are a quality side, and we knew if we didn't get our stuff right, then we'd pay for it. Really, the conditions were very windy, etc. But it's the same for both teams, I suppose. But yeah, we weren't rattled. We maintained our composure even when we went down by that score. Obviously, the interception was just one of those things. But I never felt that we were completely out of the game. And talking to the players today, they said similarly. They always felt that they were in the game despite that scoreline. But I do think that score just ahead of half time was a vital one, really, just to give us a little bit of a lift going into half time. And then we knew coming out to the second half we'd have the advantage of the win behind us. As much as it was off and on. But that was a crucial score for us.
Yeah, it kind of over the years, or the last couple of years, Leinster were able to score vital scores at either side of half time, which I think is one of the. Would you consider it one of the things maybe there's an emphasis on to get those clutch scores either side of the break?
Well, every team knows that at the end of the first half, the beginning of the second half, that's where some teams are most vulnerable. But there's an awareness there. But I have to say, if you're behind by 17-0, you're going to be doing your utmost to try and get something back into the game. Just before half time, and fortunate enough for us, we did. But yeah, it's just maintaining that concentration. Even after you've scored, you've got to nail your detail on the next kickoff to make sure you exit cleanly. So it's just been able to be, on the money, constantly. Sorry, for the full 80 minutes. And I thought there was good growth in this group over the period of the Six Nations. This was the last game really before the internationals returned into the fold fully. As much as they prepared the team for Friday night. So I thought it was a fitting end, really, and some of the performances were excellent. Very buoyed by obviously the areas that I work in. Just Mikey Milne and John McKee, coming up against that front row. I thought they were outstanding. So it was pleasing to see those areas of growth.
And look at just going into the game on Saturday against Ulster in the last 16. Where do you think Ulster are at in terms of they seemingly have improved again? They kind of had a bit of a lull, and I go back to the game against Leinster earlier in the season when they lost. Do you think you're facing a different Ulster team this Saturday?
Yeah, I think they are playing well. Obviously up front they're very cohesive as an unit. They're scrummaging well. They've got a very potent driving line out. That seems to be working for them remarkably well. The amount of tries the hookers are scoring off the back of those mauls. But this match really stands alone. I think it's a one-off. I don't think you need to look back at past performances in this season. It's not a league game; it's a cup competition, and once you lose, you're out. And doesn't matter how you get into the last 16. You're there. You're on the field, and you've got a chance. So with it being a local derby, the form book is out the window, and it's all on the day. So that's how we're approaching it.
Just finally for me, do you enjoy this time of the year in terms of going into knockout rugby. I mean, obviously, Leinster played so well, but, knockout is a different, games don't always go according to plan. Do you enjoy this kind of a challenge?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's why we do what we do. To play in the Aviva Stadium, it'll be a full house, all to play for. Do you know what I mean? That's just brilliant. That's why we do all the work that we do. That's why the players put themselves through all the training, etc. All the work off the field, analysis wise, and you just hope that on Saturday we can all bring it together and hopefully get a win. But it'll be a great occasion anyway.
Okay, good luck on Saturday. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, obviously the Johnny Sexton news has come out this afternoon. How big a blow is that to preparations?
Well, firstly, it's a massive disappointment for Johnny himself. He had a dream end with regards to winning the Grand Slam. Do you know what I mean? Unfortunately, he picked up the injury in the same game. So I imagine it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but yeah. Will it affect our preparations? Well, Johnny Sexton, obviously, he's very experienced. He's a world-class athlete. But we're very fortunate here in that we've got, able bodies to sort of step up. Ross and Harry, they've been performing well during this period, and you've got young Sam as well, who's been going well for the under-20s. So there's depth there, and as much as it's disappointing for Johnny, it does give an opportunity for others to step up into that void, and the boys have done that so well so far this season, and in seasons gone by as well, and hopefully they'll just hit the ground running. I think that's one of the major things being here, at Leinster is the strength in depth. So I just hope that Johnny gets back as quickly as possible, and you've got the World Cup coming around the corner as well. So you still got something to target. But as far as our own preparations here in Leinster, we just got to get on with the job, and that's the nature of rugby, unfortunately.
Have you spoken to him since the length of the time frame has been confirmed?
No, I've seen him. I've just greeted him and just had a quick word, but that's about it, really. I think he's just got to get the operation done and just take one step at a time. And it's a frustrating time, but once talking from personal experience, but once you get your operation done and then you put your timelines in place of goals to work towards, then it becomes a lot easier. The toughest part is the not knowing, really. So, like I said, once he gets the operation done and those timelines are set and the goals that he can work towards, the World Cup isn't that far away anyway. So that should be motivation in itself, really.